Just got back home and it's late. It's after 9 p.m. and I've been to the airport. I looked at the airplanes landing in a very strong wind today. Of course, my work. Two customers in the morning. I thought I had another one. The third one more demanding, and they canceled the one today. They postponed it for the next week. So I'm not tired, but I think I had enough work, so I'm going to rest. Maybe if the TV is free, I'll watch something simple, maybe a documentary or something like that, or maybe a comedy, a stand-up. I like to see some stand-up comedians, and I'm trying to record something to pass on some sort of not advice. It's not advice. I don't have a real experience in that field, but sort of clues how you avoid getting into a bad workplace relationship. So, workplaces, work, jobs, whatever word or term you use to call those, are relationships. So you build a connection with the building, with land, with objects, machinery, or computers, and with people around. So it's not only you and people, but you connect with material things that make that workplace. Why I'm saying you connect? Because your brain has to process information about those, like not only shapes, but the way they work. You interact with everything around, so everything is made out of energy, and everything has information in that energy, and it stores not only information about the physical form, the way we see it, we sense it, but also the way they function, the way they interact with other people, and you want to make sure you have a good relationship with people and with material items there, and how you avoid a bad relationship. So if you learn from your life experience in relationships with people, you can have good times with people. You can have learning experiences. You can have times when the people come to you to discard their anger, emotions, and sadness. There are people who make you feel very happy and excited and energized every time you go around those people. And there are people who want to control your emotions, control freaks. There are people who are just there to squeeze everything out of you. So they don't give, they just take. So it's some sort of a selfish attitude. So many type of people you can meet. And if you are fooled by the appearances, you could be lucky. You could get a someone who is in tune with you and match your needs and feelings, emotions, because you think you are a perfect being from your point of view, but other people see you probably different. Probably people see you, yeah, you never do the dishes, you are a roommate, or you work in the same workplace and you always pee on the toilet seat, or you always eat and you make noises, or you fart and you fart into an enclosed environment, and or you are always late. So some people emphasize some little of your faults or something that bother other people. Other people ignore those. Some people don't like your skin color. Some people don't like your language, accent. So many variables that can tip off people, make them dislike you, and you do the same. So if you pay attention to all these little details, then it's not helping you to have a good relationship. So you need to know how to adapt and how to let other people be. And if they really hurt you, yeah, you have to know how to speak up. And but sometimes, people really try to get rid of you, try to hurt you, and try to take advantage of you. So you cannot really ignore everything that comes from humans, and including the equipment made by humans. So you can't really use a tool that is hurting your hands, or let's say a computer that is radiating lots of UV, like in the old days, the monitors, or a computer that is noisy, has a noisy fan, and the management doesn't want to pay someone to fix it. So that tool might not hurt you right away, but it will hurt you over the time. And so there are little things that can affect your mental state of mind, or the mental health, and you don't see it. So it's like you get into a relationship where you're not in tune with a place, or they are not in tune with your needs, and it appears okay, but slowly the little things that they keep pushing in you, on you, keep pushing, like someone is not paying you enough and you're not happy, and with the industry working, the average pay is like 10% higher, and you don't know how to speak out, and even you do, they threaten to kick you out, or they use all sort of techniques. Or they have a kind of a constant hiring ad somewhere in the media, and so they have this type of constant flux of resumes. So if you do something that they don't like, they will replace you with no mercy. And how do you know all this? How do you know? So first, of course, like when you apply to I'm just being sarcastic. When you apply to enter in a relationship with someone, like a romantic relationship, you study the person, unless you're really stupid and horny, and you go for the sexual aspect of the relationship. And you don't know what you get out. You may have a good match, or you may have a few months of good sex, and then you realize that you're getting into trouble. Um, so you analyze the person, you analyze the place, you study the reviews, you study what other people are saying. So if it's a new workplace, you need to look at the stability of the business. You need to look at the goals of the company. What type of products they have? Is a product that it's a single product that might last 5 years, and if the company doesn't have a research and development department, or a person, or an engineer designing new products, or is not the company is too small financially to acquire a new product line to sell, or a service to sell, then 5 years later people won't buy that product. There are many products who are coming and going within 5 years. That's the lifespan of the product. So if your prospect is trying to stay on a stable market, knowing that this product sells well, and they are focused on that product only, keep in mind that the market changes very, very fast these days, and that product that sells well today, which gives you some sort of an income and makes profit to the company, if the company doesn't act to adapt. So if you look at the management, if they are old-fashioned, like a small family, old-fashioned, and they just want to have some funds for retirement, and they want to sell that company once the life cycle of the product they sell or service sell it ends or slows down, they would sell the company, and someone may take it, and you are being sold like an asset. And the new management may not pay you the same. They may not respect you the same way because you're new to them. So they take you from fresh. So they have to know you. So you kind of lost your your experience and your relationship, your old relationship with the old management. So try to avoid those kind of old family things that are small, unless you start your career and you need some sort of a job, you need some sort of a start in your career. But if you have some experience, some years experience and value on the market, you have to know your value. So what's your experience, what's your qualifications, if you have any, even you don't have any qualification, but what can you do for a company, how can you help that company, and put in your life experience or resume or some LinkedIn profile somewhere. Put a list of a big accomplishment. Like don't list the every single little job that you've done, but some big accomplishment. Even you were a waiter or some simple job that doesn't require much of a qualification. Put some sort of a big names you did work with, you dealt with, and ask for recommendations. So if someone really likes your attitude or something like that, and if you see a good feedback or a huge tip, outrageous tip or something, yeah, maybe find a way to get some reviews. So maybe don't take the tip, ask for reviews. I don't know, I'm not working in that field, but uh, reviews or referrals or anything that comes from a valuable person are really important. So you show off some of those if you don't have qualifications to display. And so they try to get rid of you if you are not really significant. So now there are companies, I visited workplaces with my work. So I study the environment because that's me. Can't stop myself from studying what's there, who works there, why they do that, do they like it, do they love their job, or is just a place to get a paycheck. That's the way I it's kind of a side of my work. I do my work many times automatic, and in the meanwhile I study. And I see workplaces where when you, so one clue, you go to the washroom. So let's say you go for an interview or something like that, and they, if you have really good value and really good experience with good name companies, not really big names, but good names, good working place. Um, they call you for an interview because they want either the customer base, if you were doing some sales calls or doing some sales connections, or they want your previous training and skills. So you did work for someone else for low pay, you gain the experience, and now someone else wants that experience. They don't really want you. You are just a piece of meat. They want your experience and how they use your experience and your brain and your time and energy to make money off you. And they pay you a slice of that. So it's obvious, if you didn't learn that to this point, then you're still young, you have to learn. But nobody is coming to you to tell you, I feel I want to give you a job because I like you, or I I feel sorry for your life trouble, and I would like to give you a job to change your life. Yeah, you might hear this type of stories, but those are stories. But people are there for business, so especially people who invest money there, they don't invest really to help the community. Those are BS. Those are stories for marketing. Maybe there are a couple of companies like that, but most people invest money they got, and because they love money, they want more money, so they want to amplify that source of energy, the money. So have money, they need an amplifier, and the best amplifier is to invest into a workplace where you use other people's energy. and time, and which is also sort of a special energy. So if you go to a workplace, let's say they call you for an interview because they love to suck your blood, or I'm just being sarcastic a bit, but they love to use your skill and talent and time. Um, and if you want to see, let's say, the washrooms, so pay attention couple of details. Are the management washrooms separated from the production workers' washrooms? How clean they are? Uh, you see fresh flowers there, or just some plastic flowers. You see trees in a area, you see a park, a green park or something like that. You see a place where you can go and spend your lunchtime or your break time. So it's not like a big box, industrial box or office type of environment, and you see a Starbucks or some sort of a coffee shop at the bottom floor, and that's the only source of food if you forgot your food, if you don't cook or something like that. So at some point you will get sick of eating the same type of menu, the same type of using the same type of items from that type of stores. Like I see Tim Hortons or Starbucks at the bottom of some sort of a big corporate office. So I've been to a police type of big office. I can't tell you what type of office, but where big management of the police officers are working, or they have office, and at the bottom there was a Tim Horton. I said, how come this stuff got in here? So you must pay huge rent, or you must have some sort of a connection to be allowed to do business into that environment. So it's not only the security clearance of each employee, so that's paperwork, but to get in and be allowed to do business in there, you need to have someone who let you, because lots of people would like to do that. So I don't know how that Tim Hortons franchise got in there, but it's not healthy for the officers and for the people working that management. It's not healthy to have the same type of super sweet coffee, the same type of diet or food or something. And they have a cafeteria in the same area. You can buy food, but not too big of a variety. And it's not really healthy food. So you need to pay attention to that. If you are concerned about your diet, you see where you can buy food in the area. Or how is the lunch room? Is it crowded? Is it like two tables or some old furniture or something? You feel you are relaxed while you have your lunch, because it's an important part of your day. Lunch, when you connect with food. If you are on your cell phone all the time while you eat, that's a different story. But if you want a good time, a relaxing time while you enjoy your food, pay attention where you eat and how far you are from those facilities, because if you have to walk 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes round trip to get a coffee or get something, then that's out of your break time. So washroom facilities, the kitchen where you can heat up some stuff, and pay attention. All those items like appliances, are they old? If they are old, then it's a clue that the management don't really care to replace those aging appliances, and they try to save money, or they ignore. They don't even go to the kitchen or to the cafeteria or wherever people eat, the lunchroom, and they don't go there to check, okay, what's needed, how to make these workers or employees feel better so they can make more money for me. So it's a selfish thinking, but at least you not only squeeze the energy of the employee but also you pay back, you invest in those. Then you ask about training programs when it's about investment. So do they help you with training? Because I know companies who are so cheap, you ask for a course or something and they don't take it, they don't give it to you. I see like managers taking some courses or something, but the employees no. So then if you don't advance on your career, you don't get any type of courses and training, you want to move on somewhere, you don't have those courses, so you have to pay out of your pocket. But when to take those courses, because you work for someone 8 hours 10 hours a day, so you have to pay attention for that. You ask, is there paid training, or do I get free time or personal time for if I want to take some classes on my own, because there are government programs paying back like tax incentives, supporting companies that support workers. So some companies may take the money and never do the training. They say, we had some in-house training or something. So they have the skill to use the money, but not use it for the right purpose. So training is also important. How you advance in career. So where are you going to see yourself in the next 5 years? That's a common question that the interviewer will ask you. But you can ask back, okay, if I dream big, can you help me dream big or maintain my dreams? Or I can dream forever and it's useless. So do they support your dreams? So if you look around, if you see, do I have a chance to move up? If you want to move up, if you want to stay at your level, that's fine. Many people are comfortable, even myself. I'm comfortable to do the same thing. Even I advance, but I don't advance in the sense that I want to lead other people, because you gain people skills with that, but you don't gain skills in your field. So you, instead of uh, raising your level of experience in your specific trade or a specific talent or knowledge, field of knowledge, then you switch from being a talented worker or employee into someone who is leading other people. So you disconnect from your talent and you move into dealing and controlling people. And so that's not me. So that's why I rather stick with what I do and I grow in that field. Now, there are people who want to make more money or like to be in control of things or like to be in a management position, so stuff like that. So if you are one of those, see what's in it for you. It's the chance of an older person to move to another workplace or to retire or something. You ask about competitive co-workers, like how competitive those are. So they may not give you the answer, but you need to know. You can ask who I'm working with, what type of person it is, and most of the time you don't have any chance to meet the future co-workers. So some companies, they invite you to an interview and you talk to a person, someone from human resources. You may talk to someone in a management. Depends what position you apply for. I've been to interviews where 3 people from management showed up. I said, they feel that I'm so important or something, and they spent probably 1 hour with me. And of course, I did not take that job. They didn't like it. I did not like it. I did not like them, and we were not a good match. But they consider that it's important that the management make those hiring calls. But sometimes you get someone from a supervisor or a team leader, someone to talk to you to see, because you will be in direct contact with that person. So they will take you around, they will show you around, see, and they will analyze your reactions, see if you are excited, if you are curious, or if you fit there. And you look at workers, see, they appear upset? Do they appear stressed? Do they talk to each other? Do they everyone look like a robot minding their own business? Even you work in the office environment, you may go and see that people don't interact with each other, and they are very, very separated by these cubicles, like dividing walls that prevents people to talk to each other. So it could be a good thing, but could be a bad thing. So if you are a social type of person and you need connection all the time, you need to be around people, with people, around people. Yeah, so you may end up making phone calls, sales phone calls, which keeps you connected with people, but you may end up doing some computer work in front of a screen all day long. And how you maintain that connection with other people? So you may end up sneaking around on a computer, on Facebook all the times, or on some chat groups or so, because your soul wants you to connect with others. And you get caught, you get in trouble, or someone will report you, you get in trouble. And if you don't have those dividers in the cubicles, then you are tempted to talk to your coworkers, which annoy other people. So you need to look what type of person you are. So you look inside of you, what type of person you are. You may like to socialize. So you see this company sets the barbecues once a month. Do you love that? Myself, from my experience, I'm not into social events or barbecues or any celebrations. Maybe if I am there, it's just to be polite, but otherwise I'm not interested. But other people are all about that. So they organize barbecue. They are 100% involved, and they can't wait to the next such event. So if you are one of those, then you know what type of workplace or position you look into that company. You don't just jump in because there is an opening and you think you would like it, because you have to do a task that may not fit your sole purpose 8 hours every day. Then commute. And of course, before you choose, you look at the commute, how long it takes you to go back and forth. So you look at the traffic. So those are simple, obvious, but here I'm talking about clues from inside the company. So you look at the secretary. Secretary is kind of a gatekeeper that gives you some important clues. So if you see a bitchy secretary that talk to you with a nose up, like a bitch that trying to impress you or trying to make you insignificant, make you feel nobody, you should not work there. So when the company keeps such a person at the front desk, on the display, that's the first person who interacts with people who come in the company. If the management wants to keep such a person there, who is not really respectful with someone who is potential employee, because she knows that you're there for an interview, that means you're not supposed to work there. So why I'm saying that? Because the company probably hired that person a long time ago, or is a relative with someone in the management, or the management really set this type of culture. So watch for the company culture. See what the management is pushing down to everyone. Is pushing stress, is pushing speed, is pushing spying on people, is pushing sort of a I don't find all the bad type of attitudes or the stuff that I don't like. There are people who got used to that. It's part of their new normal or even old normal. Some people work in such environment for 30, 40 years, and they are okay with that because they don't care or they don't really interact with those who set this type of mentality. So watch for corporate attitude because, like I said, it's being pushed from the management all the way down to the last worker, including the cleaner. And if you go around, if you, like I said, if you see stressed out people, you should ask yourself why. So study the company culture, see what's their goals, what makes people do what they do, what's the reason people want to go to work, um, you know, and other small details that are part of that type of culture. Then what else could be? So if the buildings are well maintained, so you look at the assets, like I said, computers, monitors, everything. So if you look at some companies, they replace assets every 3 4 years, especially computer network, because they have a growing business, and growing business means more stuff going in and out, more data, more demand, more traffic, and or more employees. So you look at the growing business. If the company is growing, then it's a good sign for you because you can move ahead, or you can do something more. You can work on bigger projects. So you see if they have some very old computers and or assets or desks. You look at the desks, especially the front desk, the one is used by the secretary or the front desk person, and if it's old and aging, then also it tells you that the company does not really invest in anything that it's related to marketing, company image, because some people probably don't know the value of those items or the marketing or the company image. They don't know, they are not aware, they are not trained, or they don't really care. So they are happy with the profit they make, and as long as you don't cry or the workers don't cry, don't complain, they are okay. They see the constant profit coming every year, and they like the numbers. And if the workers are not complaining, the furniture is not complaining, the customers are still coming, why change? Why invest more money out of the same profit, or reduce the profit? So look for those clues and be open-minded. Don't jump into a relationship blindfolded because the smell of money or whatever you think is really important to you. So over the time, if you work in a high stress, a high pressure environment where the manager puts lots of pressure on the workers, not only to do more, but there are people who want to know everything about everyone, control freaks, and they make others spy on you. And probably if you can ignore it, that's okay. But if people spy on you and you get crap from the managers, or you are being penalized, and you are being told that this is your first mistake, you have two more or something, you have one more mistake because you did two, and you don't know when you did the other two, because they don't tell you. And if they fire you, they do something to penalize you, and if you want to complain, they show you a folder with what you did, and you think, oh, when I did that, oh, who saw me, who reported me? Okay, so if you know that there is such attitude, then it's not good for you because it keeps you stressed out. How to do your work instead of using your talent, lots of your mind power go into making sure you don't break any rule. And sometimes you can't avoid breaking rules. So let's say they push you to do things very, very fast, but you might have to breach the safety rules, and how you deal with that. So let's say if you are aging, you're 35, 45, 50 years old employee, and you see the competitive guys, even they don't really do the same kind of quality work you do, um, but you have to train those guys. So you train the new workers, because you can't reject that demand. So you are told you train these guys to do what you do. You train them, but if they are competitive, they are trying to take jobs. So people forget that you help them, and later in a year or two, if you still work with those, you will see some of those trying to get your job. Even you train them. So it happened to me. So I've seen that in the past. And then those you trained could be faster because they're younger, or maybe it's a physically demanding job, let's say, or require some stamina, or let's say they don't have a family, you have family, and the bosses wants you to do some overtime, and you say, you know what, my kid is sick, or I have to be at home or something on time, or whatever, my boss is leaving, or my ferry leaves or something. But the young guys who have no family and you trained them, or they got some training from someone else, um, they can do that. They can do that. And of course, the company look between the two. Okay, who needs less money, who can do more, and who. So you look at this type of details, and you have to think down the line on time in time and see who is going to be my competitor there, and can I deal with that person? Is that person appreciated that I'm senior, or I'm an older person, and I know more? Or if you are a younger person, so I've been young, of course, and I had to deal with an old guy, very unhappy type of guy, and he was a kind of a heavy drinker, I would say. So he has some stomach problem. I don't know. Of course, because of the so much alcohol, so much drinking, and yeah, he was an unhappy old guy, and I never learned anything from that guy. And he tried to put me down to make me feel like a nobody many times, and he disliked me, not only me, but he disliked me and other young guys, because we were students at the same time. So we were taking some classes in the evening classes during my technical training, university kind of training, and he didn't like that. He didn't like that we're going to become engineer or working in engineering field, and he is going to stay worker until his retirement. So I could see that jealousy, and I did not have a good experience with that guy. So if you are one of those, and if you see that a bunch of people are older there, yeah, you may encounter some resistance, or you may not learn much. And also, I had the experience with another older, was one of my supervisor while I was uh, 22 years old or something like that. So he didn't like me that I had my creative mind, and I was trying to perform changes, or make changes into procedures, but not company procedures. Let's say how you cut something, or how you deal with something. So I had many ideas of changing things in a minor way that makes the process faster or easier. But he was an older guy, not very old, but older, maybe he was 40 something, and he didn't like that. And he gave me kind of some nasty comments at some point. He said, "Oh yeah, George, you always want to modify things." But he didn't say it in a good way. So he tried to make me feel bad about my creative brain. And then I did work for Honeywell in Vancouver area, and we had a bunch of like a department, a full department, kind of a mechanical shop or something like that, with a bunch of old guys, all with union mentality. So you take break at this specific time. You nobody bugs you during break time. You leave at the same time. You don't help anyone else. You do your own job, and lots of spying. And there was a guy. If I was late few minutes, it was a guy who used to tell the manager, or if he was not telling the manager, he used to say loud, "Oh, George, you are late today. Hey, how are you?" or something. Make sure he was making sure that the manager or the supervisor could hear that I was late. But I had to sign in anyway through a computer, so the computer knew, the system knew what that I was late 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because I had to drive a long ride for work. And I was lucky that the supervisor was a woman, very kind, very nice, and she learned that I was making up the time in the afternoon. So let's say if I was late 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I was spending another half an hour or 45 minutes to complete the projects in the afternoon, because I did not have anyone after my shift. So it was one shift type of work environment. And so I was lucky to have that type of supervisor. She was making changes into the computer system. So if I was supposed to show up at 7, yeah, so she changed the 7 o'clock, and I had to leave at 3:30 or something. So even I stayed after, even sometimes after 4 p.m., she made it show that I left at on time. So like I had the exact 8 hour shift. And because she saw that I'm not there like a union guy is all about money. I was there to learn and grow and really help. So I did help. I came up with ideas. I improved the workflow, the speed of process, and some union type of mentality person, guy in that company came to me once. He said, "George, you are assembling things too fast." I said, "I can't slow down. That's I was trained how to do things here, and that's the kind of a slow speed actually, because I'm still new." And she said, "No, you are assembling too fast here, and you make us look bad." And because they were kind of taking time, taking it very slow, those old guys. And so he said, "Yeah, you make us look bad, and if you assemble more items a day, they will increase the numbers for us." So I thought, how come this guy want to admit or admit that there are some lazy old guys who don't really want to help the company? But probably from their experience, they knew from the past that, if you put more effort into a company, some companies don't reward you for that. So you get paid the same, and then you get a higher load. So you have to look into that. Watch for companies who take advantage of you. And wise workers, they learn that. They saw we've done more work, but we never got a bonus. We never got a salary increase. So how you know that? So you should look for a former employees reviews. So there is this newer, it's not really new, but it's a newer concept. Website is called Glassdoor, where former employees post some reviews, and you choose. You want to see the negative reviews, the good reviews. But people also mention about, the management attitude, if they need to grow, if they need to make a change, or they some people mention that the managers don't ever come down to visit the production environment, so they don't really care what's going on. Other people say managers change all the time, and the new managers don't know what we need in order to have a better workplace. So you see this type of clues, and it gives you an idea what I'm going to do. I'm going to enter into this type of abusive relationship, because it could be an abusive relationship with lots of bullying. So I did talk a lot. It's some coffee. Coffee keeps the brain firing up. So I thought I was tired, but now I'm going home and I still have some energy, and I have to get ready for tomorrow. I'm going on a hike. So today I had a good day again. So the life is the way you make it. You can make it good. I keep saying that to people. And it's in your hands. If you want a good relationship, then you can get a good relationship, including a good work relation or a workplace relationship. Just use other people's experience and be wise, and don't act based on your impulses, because that has to be a longer term relationship. Okay, so talk to you later. Bye bye. Sorry for keeping you that long. But I hope you got some sort of a clues if you are young and with no experience. Bye bye.